Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to pass through the important things that we have learned this week, and we are going to see some of the exercises, okay? So first of all, we've already explained before how do we calculate the roots in a quadratic equation and what's the meaning of a quadratic equation. This week, we've worked on the sign of quadratic equation. So if to make a quick revision, if delta is negative, then we have no real roots. If delta is zero, we have one double root. And if delta is positive, we have two distinct roots that are minus b minus radical delta over 2a or minus b plus radical delta over 2a. If delta is negative and no real roots, then this function or this equation cannot be factorized. Then what's the sign of this equation? It takes the sign of a. If a is positive, then it will be positive for any real number. If it's negative, then it will be negative for any real number. And what if I have only one double root? If I have one double root, then I will have only one root in the middle, but both signs will be the same according to the sign of A. If A is positive, then we have positive, positive. If A is negative, then we have negative, negative here, okay? And what if we have two roots? Then we put the two roots on the table. We always have same sign of A, opposite sign of A, same sign of A, or in a different way, inside the roots, opposite sign of A. Let us solve some of the exercises. So that was our lesson, but we solved a lot of exercises. We have here the first example, which is 3x squared minus 4x minus 7. Here we have delta is positive, so we have two roots, minus 1 and 7 over 3. We put the two roots on the table, minus 1 and 7 over 3, and we have same, opposite, same. A is positive because it's a 3, so we have plus, minus, plus. So what do I say about this trinomial? It's positive between minus infinity, the delta is positive between minus infinity and minus 1, union 7 over 3 plus infinity. And it's negative between minus 1 and 7 over 3, according to the delta, of course. And it's equal to 0 at minus 1 and 7 over 3. That's how we study the sign of the trinomial. Another example, 4x squared minus x plus 6. Here we have delta is negative, so we have no real roots, but a is positive. So this equation is positive for any real x. Also here we have minus 5x squared plus 20x minus 20. Here we have the delta equals to 0. So I have one root, which is 2. Okay, but according to the value of a, this is negative. So it will be negative for every x except for 2 is equal to 0. Now, if I have a fraction, I need to know the sign of the numerator and the sign of the denominator. I solve the first one equal to 0. We have 2 over 3, as you can see here. We solve the second one. We have 11 over 2, but 11 over 2 should be shaded because it's in the denominator. We have two roots. A, in this case, what's the sign of the numerator? It's negative. And the sign of the denominator is 2. Both of them, we have minus over plus, which is minus. So A is negative in this case. So inside the root, opposite sign of A, so we get minus, plus, minus. Most of the times, you will be given an inequality, and you are asked to solve this inequality. So they are asking us to find the values where minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 is greater than 0. According to this equation, we have two roots, 1 over 2 and 1, okay? But a is negative. So if you do a small table, let me do it for you, like this. Okay, we have 1 over 2 and 1. So we have two roots and a is negative. So what do we have here? Same, opposite, same. We want this inequality to be positive and equal to 0. So I'm talking about this range. So the range will be 1 over 2, 1. Okay, so that's how we solve the inequality. Of course, we have a lot of exercises here that you can check them. We have here minus 3x squared plus 5 minus 5 plus x minus 5. Sorry, this is delta negative, so we have no real roots. but A is negative, so this is negative for every x. So the solution is R, because every time you're going to replace x by any value, you're going to get a negative number, which is accepted. So here we have a lot of exercises that you can practice them. Also, we talked about the sum and the product. Let me remind you that the product is equal to C over A and the sum is equal to minus B over A. Sometimes we use them in order to find the roots as a system to equation to unknown, as we used in the worksheet. So this was our lesson. Of course, I advise you to resolve the worksheet. We already have the solution on the application. I'm going to share the worksheet with you. Just let me open it for you to explain the important things that we have learned or we have solved. Okay, this is our worksheet. Let me share it with you. So on this worksheet, we have learned first, how do we solve equations? How do we solve inequalities, as I just explained? And for this system, we said that we replace it using sum and product. So we get 3 sum minus 2p equals to 5. And here we have 2 sum plus p equals to 8. Of course, you can check the whole solution on the application. We get rid of the sum or the product to find the sum and the product, because after finding the sum of the sum and the product, you can replace them in the quadratic equation in the form x squared minus sum x plus p. And after putting them in this form, of course, you can find x1 and x2. Okay. So, of course, if you have any question, you can ask me. That was our lesson. We have done from this lesson. Our QP is on Tuesday. And of course, we're going to start with a new lesson starting from next week. So, good luck.